Good afternoon, everyone. Before I go any further, let someone confirm that is able to hear me by carrying up the hand or you type in the chat so that I'm able to move with everyone and we get the best of the best. Are you able to hear me? By show of hand or you type in the chat? Okay. Yes, okay. Thank you so much. I want to welcome you to this yet another segment of our entrepreneurship education lesson. And in relation to that, we head any further, I want a volunteer to carry up the hand and you give us an opening prayer, and then we start our session immediately. Just raise the hand, and then you give us the opening prayer. Any volunteer to pray for us? Okay, unmute yourself. There's one carrying up the hand here. Please, you who is carrying up the hand, unmute yourself. Trevor? Trevor?
Yes.
Oh, Trevor, go ahead.
Good afternoon, class. Yes, I'm going to give you the opening prayer. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. Thank you.
Oh Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you've done for us. We thank you that you are able to wake up this early morning. We pray that we get everything that Teacher Mataya has for us today, that we understand and we are able to understand everything, and asking for your guidance to please create a way where we have not understood. And yes, I thank you for everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Trevor, for that wonderful prayer. I want now to start our session immediately. But as we are all aware, we are in a new curriculum, Senior 5, you being the pioneers, and therefore you have passed through the ordinary level where you have gone through the same process. And I expect that this session will be an interactive one, where I will be more of a facilitator rather than a teacher just merely delivering the knowledge. So we shall keep on sharing. Where you have an issue, please you keep raising, you ask, so that by the time you go back to your respective schools, you are well equipped and you know where to continue. Today's session, basically, I'm going to start with the course outline, because I've received a number of students who have asked about some of the content they are supposed to cover. Others have gone beyond to have content that is not required. In fact, it's outdated, it's in the old curriculum, and it is important that today we discuss and you get to know some of the things you're supposed to cover and some of the things that are not meant to be for Senior 5, and it's really content for Senior 6. Entrepreneurship education, first and foremost, I want to thank you for choosing the subject. It's one of the most interesting subjects, a passable subject, but also a practical subject in our daily life. Irrespective of the kind of profession you'd wish to be in the future, we are all aware that whether you're an engineer, whether you're a doctor, whether you are who, in the future you need to start up a business. And the skills of running the business are very, very important. Not everyone has the skills to really sustain that business. Very many people have started, The report of 2017, I think, which was conducted, found out that in Africa, out of the 100 businesses started, almost 70% don't celebrate their first anniversary, meaning they don't go beyond a year. People are very, very entrepreneurial. They go ahead, start up businesses, but the skill of sustaining that business is what is still lacking. And you, as the students of entrepreneurship, we hope that this will be very, very key, not only for examination purposes, but also putting it into practice in the future so that you be great business people. The course outline first. I'll based on senior 5 mostly, since we are handling senior 5 and you're the pioneers. My focus is going to be on term 1 and term 2 specifically. I'll start by putting off the query of people have been asking always, how many papers do we have in entrepreneurship? That one is not so important as of now. We remember initially we had 3 papers, or the current senior 6s, they are doing 3 papers. But for your case, we await UNEB and NCDC to communicate the number of papers you will be doing. But what is most important is not the papers, but the competences. Our exams are going to be based on competences, and therefore you may find that the former 3 papers will not remain 3 as such. Though I'm not so sure of the number, but they may not remain 3 as such, since we now focus mostly on a learner achieving a given competency. Oh, Trevor is asking, is everybody hearing? Okay, let us. Trevor, are you not hearing us? I think others are able to hear. Yes, in case they are not hearing, then they should raise up the hand. Okay. So I welcome you to this very interesting subject called entrepreneurship education. One of the subjects with the longest number of words in terms of spelling, but most interesting when it comes to real learning. I know in your respective schools where you are, they must have introduced you to entrepreneurship education. In term 1, we specifically have 2 topics that we are meant to cover, and that's the introduction to entrepreneurship education and then entrepreneurial environment. And I'm certain those 2 topics by the end of term 1. Even though you had not covered, I'm also sure that you are going to cover. And as we are on this session, we shall be going through, discussing, sharing, so that we get to understand how you are doing it in your different schools. Okay, Kazibu is confirming that he's hearing. Thank you. So under number 1 topic, that's introduction to entrepreneurship education. I expect you to have looked at the definition of entrepreneurship, and then I expect you to have looked at who an entrepreneur is, definition of entrepreneurship education. Oh, a moment, Infinix, please don't write in our work. This Infinix, don't write. If you're having that name, please don't write in our work. We want to maintain our screen clean. Okay. Okay, I was trying to make some settings here. So we must have looked at a definition of entrepreneurship, who an entrepreneur is, definition of entrepreneurship education. Then from there, we must have gone to the role of entrepreneurship in economic development of your country, and that's Uganda. We must have gone through the benefits and challenges of self-employment. That's the concept of self-employment and paid employment in Uganda. We must have looked at the different entrepreneurial skills used in business. Like we said, in business, we need skills in order to sustain. When we talk of the word entrepreneurial, we are mostly looking at the business part of it. So the different business skills that you need in order to sustain your business and make it be there for quite a long period of time, and not only long period of time, but when it's profitable. And some of these skills, you must have looked at skills of coping with change, skills of coping with change, creativity skills, innovation skills, entrepreneurial motivation, communication skills, negotiation skills, personal branding also. You must have gone through to look at meaning of personal brand, importance of developing a personal brand, guidelines on personal branding, and then developing a personal brand for a selected business. That's the content we are supposed to cover under this topic 1 of introduction to entrepreneurship education. So if you covered some things outside what I've listed here, perhaps you would have gone into the old curriculum part, because here specifically, I extracted out what is supposed to be covered in relation to what was designed in our syllabus book. Now, this brings us to a definition as we first of all go through. I am seeing the word introduction to entrepreneurship education. Our subject is entrepreneurship education, but the keywords here are entrepreneur, then entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship education. I want someone to start by giving us a definition of entrepreneurship, not entrepreneurship education, but entrepreneurship. Any volunteer to define for us by show of hand? What is entrepreneurship? Yes, Isabella, you unmute yourself.
Entrepreneurship, this is the process of creating an opportunity and pursuing it regardless of the resources currently controlled.
Very good. Thank you so much. A process of creating an opportunity and then pursuing it regardless of resources you have in possession. You see, we have had very many people who say, I would wish to start such kind of business, but then I don't have this, I don't have that. Those are merely excuses. For us, we are saying in the definition of entrepreneurship is a process of attacking that opportunity, and then you start regardless of the current resources you are possessing. If capital is not enough, start with the little capital you have. If labor is not enough, start with your own labor, like that. So that was a definition of what entrepreneurship is all about, unless if we have another version of that definition. Okay. Okay, process of creating an opportunity and pursuing it regardless of the resources currently controlled. Thank you. Now, this takes us to who is that person that creates an opportunity and then regardless of the resources controlled. This person is called an entrepreneur. Now, we are bringing the definition. Who is an entrepreneur then? By show of hand, you tell us who an entrepreneur is. That person who is going to carry out entrepreneurship is an entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? Pauline? Pauline, your hand is up. Okay, sorry. Pauline, your network is not okay. I don't know. Let me try Jacqueline. Jacqueline or something. You unmute yourself.
An entrepreneur is a person who produces new goods or services with a view of selling them to customers and make profit.
Good. A person who produces goods or services with a view of selling
them to to make profit.
Yeah, I'm seeing the word person and then I'm seeing the word profit. Thank you. Who else has a different version of the definition? Okay, I see Sabila, your hand is up again. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, my definition of an entrepreneur is, this is a person that organizes, generates, and assumes the risk of the business venture.
Good. A person who organizes, generates, and assumes the risks of a business venture. Good. So I'm seeing the word there, risks. We have introduced another term. In the first definition, we had person, we had goods, we had profit. In the second definition, you are talking of organizing, generating, and then assuring of risks in a business. Okay, let me have Kaziwe. Kaziwe, unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. Martina K. Okay, Kaziwe.
An entrepreneur is a person who
start.
organizes, operates, and assumes the risk for business venture.
A person who organizes. Can you talk?
It's also the same that an entrepreneur is a person who organizes, operates, and assumes the risk for the business ventures.
Thank you so much. Thank you. An entrepreneur, that is a person. In all the three definitions you are trying to give, we all agree that an entrepreneur is a person. And two people have said who organizes, generates, and then assumes risks of a business. Thank you. We all know what risk is all about, especially those who looked at risks in business. And if you offer the subject at all level, you must have studied about risks in business. And we say the risk is anything that has a negative impact on the profitability of the business. So this entrepreneur is that one person who comes and organizes all the factors of production. When we talk of factors of production, these are things we need in order for production to take place. In order for production to take place, we need what we call capital. We need what they call land. We need what they call labor. And then we need this person called entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person, and therefore he organizes all these other three factors of production: brings capital, brings land, mobilizes labor, and then he starts up a business. That's why we brought in the word organizes. An entrepreneur is a person who organizes. Then he generates, assumes risks in a business, of course, with an aim of making profit. We can't forget that the ultimate aim of starting up a business is to make profits. So in other words, one can define an entrepreneur as a person who spots a business opportunity, mobilizes the necessary resources, starts up a business with an aim of making profits while standing chances of making losses. As simple as that. You spot a business opportunity, you look around the area and you say, in this community of ours, which kind of a business can I start? You say, maybe let me go for a boutique. You have spotted a business opportunity. You now mobilize the resources. What are the resources needed before starting up such a business? Maybe I need a room, I need capital or money to buy the stock. It is I need someone to help me, maybe labor. So we spot a business opportunity, we mobilize the necessary resources. After you have gotten the resources, we start the business. The entrepreneur starts a business with an aim of making profits while standing chances of making losses. But also an entrepreneur is that one person who goes beyond and sustains. Spotting a business opportunity is not enough. Starting a business is not enough, but sustaining it is very, very important. If your business is to exist for a very long period of time, then you need to employ some skills that will make you to sustain it. And those skills, we shall look at them, or you looked at them, the different entrepreneurial skills that a business should actually use. So all your definitions are very, very correct. Then that brings us to the word entrepreneurship education. Having known that entrepreneurship is a process of creating an opportunity and pursuing it regardless of resources controlled, we have known who an entrepreneur is. Then what is entrepreneurship education? And another volunteer. What is entrepreneurship education? Who has not said anything? I want us all to be participating. Okay. Martina. Okay. Benjamin, let me go. Benjamin.
Entrepreneurship education refers to the study that is concerned with providing young students with basic knowledge and tools of creating and operating their own businesses.
Thank you so much. Very good. It is concerned with the study of providing knowledge and skills to students to start own businesses. Very good. I'm seeing Jimmy's hand is up. Jimmy. Jimmy, go ahead.
Entrepreneurship education is a process of providing individuals with abilities to recognize commercial opportunities through skills and knowledge.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Any other with a different version? Levi?
Yes.
Levi, unmute yourself. Okay.
Entrepreneurship education, it is the motivation, it is the training which allows learners to develop their creativity.
Very good. A training that allows learners to develop their creativity. Very good. You have very interesting definitions and they're all very, very correct. Different version, Judy.
It is the process of providing individuals with the ability to recognize commercial opportunities and insights of self-esteem, knowledge, and skills to act on them.
Excellent. Process of providing
individuals with the ability to recognize commercial opportunities and insights of self-esteem, knowledge, and skills to act on them.
Good. Thank you, Judy. I see very many hands are up. I don't know, you all have very interesting definitions. Let me choose the last one. Okay, we have Eva. Eva, the floor is yours.
My definition is, this is the study of business skills and knowledge of starting up a new business and innovate the existing business to a high standard.
Good. Thank you so much, Eva. Very good. You are such an interesting student. All your definitions you have given are very, very correct. Entrepreneurship education is the study that is concerned with providing knowledge and skills to students to be able to start and run own businesses. As simple as that. All of you have very, very correct definitions. That takes us to the role of entrepreneurship. I don't expect you to have studied the characteristics of who entrepreneurs are. Those things you looked at them, especially those who offered entrepreneurship at O-level, while they were designing this curriculum, some of the things you had covered in O-level, they had to remove them from the A-level curriculum. So the characteristics of who an entrepreneur is, it's just for your own research, and it's important to understand them as well. For our case here, we now head to the role of entrepreneurship in the economic development of a country. Having known what entrepreneurship is all about, like someone said, that is process of creating an opportunity and pursuing it regardless of the resources currently controlled. Now, what's the role of entrepreneurship in the development of our country? We all know what entrepreneurship is all about. These small businesses, large businesses, medium businesses, we move in environments full of businesses. What's the role of those businesses in as far as the development of Uganda is concerned? That's what they are asking about simply. Can someone be able to give us the first point? Okay, Travis is also saying it refers to a discipline of study. Okay. Okay, those who fail to give their definitions, do it like Travis. You go to the chat room. We shall also go there and go through some things. Can you give me the role of entrepreneurship in economic development? I hope everyone contributes on this. I want everyone's hand up and we share some of these points. What were you given in your school? I want to start with individuals who have not said anything. Okay. I see you have all participated. Okay, I'm seeing here, peace. Please unmute yourself. Peace. Okay, this is not ready. Let me go to Benjamin.
Creation of employment opportunities. This is my first point.
Okay, creation of employment opportunities. Good. Can you be able to elaborate your point?
Yes, entrepreneurs establish business or enterprise that need people to work in different departments. So hence people are employed.
Good. Creation of employment opportunities. Thank you so much. Now, one thing I should also mention before we proceed is that in O-level, you do give literally a few points, and because the range of the marking would allow you to earn very high marks. For your case, you are now in A-level, and advanced level demands you to really explain your points. So I expect you to explain your points very well, but also to give as many points as possible. We in A-level, we don't entertain writing 3, 4, 5 points. Yes, you will pass all of them and score very low marks because you have not reached the required number of the points that were required on the scoring guide. So if we ask about the role of entrepreneurship, also the key issue here, I want you to embrace the use of present continuous tense, that's ing, or you use action verb. That's use of ION, words that end with ION, e.g. creation, provision, or use ING like providing, creating, encouraging, like that. That's the tense we are going to move with when we are answering the role of entrepreneurship in economic development of their country. So I don't expect you to say provided, encouraged, no. It should be within those two lines of tenses. Okay, so Benjamin talked about creation of employment opportunities. When you're explaining in entrepreneurship, just ask yourself how. Now that you have given us a point, creation of employment opportunities, how does entrepreneurship create employment opportunities in the country? And then he gave us an explanation that this is through businesses started by entrepreneurs that employ people in the surrounding community. And the point is really complete. You have supported it, and there's no need of denying you a score in that line. So any other? So thank you, Benjamin. I want another volunteer here to give us. Deira? When I mention your name, you unmute yourself. Deira? Okay, Dave, I think is not in class. Clarissa, I think.
The point I'm going to give is promoting balanced regional development Entrepreneurs
Come again.
promoting balanced regional development, because entrepreneurs
Yes.
help to remove regional disparities through setting up of industries in less developed and backward areas, for example, slums, which cause growth of industries and business in these areas, leading to a large number of public benefits, like the roads are able to be developed, road transport is developed, the health sector is developed, and so on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So entrepreneurship promotes a balanced regional development that we find several entrepreneurs in different parts of the country, and it helps the country to grow at once. Today, as we talk, government has embraced regional industrial parks. In Eastern, there's an industrial park. When you go to Central, you go to Nakaseke, you find there Kapeka Industrial Park. I think there's one they're also constructing in Gulu to be there. Then Western part, they are trying to make sure that the country grows at the same pace. That's what we are talking of regional development, because these businesses come with employment opportunities. And once employment opportunities are there, people will work in those industries, those businesses. They will earn some money, go back and also start their own small businesses, but also improve living. Your point is very, very correct. We go to, okay, Deira?
Yeah, this has helped in the promotion of creativity and innovation among the youth, hence preventing goal safety in the country.
Yes, Deira, thank you for trying, but then I want you to give me a point first, then you explain. Which point are you mentioning?
Okay, it has helped in the promotion of creativity and innovation.
Creativity and innovation. So you say promotion of creativity and innovation, or encouraging creativity and innovation. Okay, then go ahead and explain.
This has helped to prevent theft among the youth, where they are able to create their own businesses.
Okay, good. So promoting creativity and innovation. This is through the different businesses. Or we can say this is through entrepreneurs coming up with new business ideas, which eventually turn into new goods and services. We have seen very many businesses here start and then introduce very unique things. Look at Coca-Cola. Initially, we had Coca-Cola soda only. Today, as we talk, they are producing very many brands of soda within the Coca-Cola company, but they have very many different brands. The same applies to Pepsi. Go to a television like NBS. It started as NBS, but today as we talk, I hear there is Sanyuka TV, there is NBS Sport, Next Radio. All those ones came as a result of creativity and innovation that originated from the start of the NBS TV. So entrepreneurship usually creates that innovation, which keeps on expanding the economy business-wise. And then Jimmy, then I'll come to Isabella, then this one has a name that I cannot pronounce. Ellie, this one starts with MH, so I'm starting with Jimmy.
I'm going to talk about encouraging the use of the local available resources.
Okay, very good. Encouraging the use of local available resources.
And rely mainly on the skills which may be found within the members of the community. This foster development.
Okay, good. So this is through use of the appropriate technology within the community, or the skills possessed by the community members. You see, most businesses, when located in a given community, perhaps when they want labor, they usually, especially casual labor, they pick from around. And in the end, they also benefit. You see, once the population is a standard of living improves, then definitely the country will be on the path to development. Brian, I think Brian has not said anything. Brian?
Okay, my point is that it promotion of countries' export trade.
Okay, promotion of
like for instance, like if entrepreneurs in a certain country like come up with something like, let me say, they start making like, for instance, papers, they can like export them to other countries, like hence promoting like export trade for the particular country.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brian. Promotion of export trade, thank you. And then, of course, that one is all about the international trade, which answers the issue of foreign exchange. In fact, those are 2 points in one, promoting international trade and then earning a country foreign exchange. Isabella, you unmute yourself.
Entrepreneurship helps in providing government revenue through taxing different enterprises, which enables the government to finance its activities.
Good. Which enables the country to finance its activities like constructing roads, schools, etc., etc. Thank you. MH. Okay, MH, you unmute yourself.
Entrepreneurship encourages competition.
Okay, entrepreneurship encourages competition, but we said we are using a tense of either ing, which is present continuous, or action verb. So you can say encouraging competition. Okay.
Entrepreneurship competition leading to better quality services or products and prices, ultimately benefiting consumers. For example, if we are competing, I notice that I need to improve on my product, and then I'll be able to compete with my fellow entrepreneurs, so I produce quality products. Is it correct?
Thank you. And then who benefits at the end? It's
The
the
consumer.
Thank you. So entrepreneurship creates a competition, like you have said, which at the end makes businesses to produce high quality goods that can benefit the consumers, but also attract the international market. Remember, there are markets where you cannot sell your substandard goods. For example, it's very hard to access the American market, especially when your goods don't meet the standard. Okay. There are very, very many roles played by entrepreneurship in the economic development of a country. Like we have mentioned some of them, creating balanced regional development, employment opportunity, promoting creativity and innovation, generating government revenue. Someone talked about promoting export trade. That one is now international trade. But also we have promoting linkages between different sectors of the economy. Take an example. Industrialization requires some of its raw materials from the agricultural side. Remember, we have 4 types of businesses majorly. Either you're in agriculture business, or you are in service business, or you are in the manufacturing business. And most of the manufacturing businesses get their raw materials from the agriculture side. Take an example. When you go to factories that make sugar, automatically they use sugarcane as the raw material, whereas there are manufacturing industries, factories like Lugazil, like Kakira, they use sugarcane as a raw material, but sugarcane comes from the agricultural side. So they would have promoted a linkage between different sectors of the economy. They rely on each other. Developing entrepreneurial culture, a culture that makes people to take advantage of the existing opportunities. There are countries where almost everyone owns a very small business. In fact, when you try to read, they will show you that China, almost everyone is making something that he sells to the other, regardless of whether it's on large scale or it's on small scale, but at least everyone has what he sells to the other. So that's the development of entrepreneurial culture we are talking of. When you look at the African setting of our own country, most of the people have not embraced that entrepreneurial culture. They fear risks, they fear to start. But here we are saying entrepreneurship can make you, when you see some of the businesses around you, they can inspire you to also go ahead and you start your own. There are very many points. The provision of market for the products. Most of these businesses provide market, like we said, promoting intersectoral linkages. So at the end, they provide market for the different products. You find some businesses around the town, but each needs the other. Let's say you are running a restaurant, but the neighbor sells, I think sells, let me say sells, is a fishmonger. So that is a fishmonger, and then for you are running a restaurant, you will come and also buy from this one, take to the other side, and then carry on business. That's providing market for the products. At the end, how does it benefit the economy? Of course, the people will have the money. Once we are above the international poverty line, we all know that for a country to be concluded that its people are somehow well off, each must have, every individual is supposed to earn not less than $2 a day, not less than $2 a day, meaning in a day you should at least have 70,000 saved, which most of our people have not achieved. And we need to embrace entrepreneurial opportunities so that we take advantage. But also it leads to development of infrastructure. You go to areas like Namamve, go to Kapeka area, go to all those areas, go to Jinja, which was formerly the industrialized area, you'll realize that their infrastructure is good because these businesses need roads, and those roads bring in raw materials, but also take away the finished products to the different markets. And at the end, the people around do also benefit. We also talked of preventing rural-urban migration. Someone talked of balanced regional development. Once these businesses are situated in different parts of the country, we shall not have this large influx of people moving from different areas to congest, let's say in Kampala, because they are looking for jobs. Each part of the country will remain where they are because businesses are there which provide jobs. So at the end, we prevent the rural-urban migration with its associated disadvantages. Etc. So what you do in examination, you try to give as many points as possible, but also well explained. Don't give less than 10 on roles of entrepreneurship and economic development. But giving many points which are not explained is also useless. It's very, very useless. You must give your points which are very, very well explained in relation to the scenario given. Remember, we are running scenario-based questions. So you answer in relation to the scenarios given. That takes us to the concept of self-employment and paid employment. Because if we keep on talking about entrepreneurship is a person who starts this, that, then that takes us to the two terms, self-employment and then paid employment. Who can give us the difference between those two terms, difference between self-employment and paid employment? By show of hand. Okay. No volunteer to give us a difference between those two terms? Isabella, yes?
Self-employment. This is a situation where an individual sets up his or her own income generating activity using personal resources and gets employed in. While paid employment, this is where an individual is employed by another and paid a salary or wage.
Good. A person who starts up a business, generate income, that one is in self-employment. One who works for the other in order to be paid, that one is, or to earn a wage or a salary, that one is in paid employment. And now for us, we want to look at the benefits. What are the benefits of being in self-employment? What are the benefits of being in paid employment? And then what are the challenges, the disadvantages of self-employment, and then the disadvantages of paid employment? I know you must have gone through all that in your respective schools. Then I will not dwell so much on those ones. we go to the different entrepreneurial skills, because we say that an entrepreneur is a person who starts up a business with an aim of making profits. But sustaining it has become very hard, of course, for most businesses. So what are some of the skills that one would require in order to sustain his business for quite a long period of time, and also be able to not only sustain it, but also make it more profitable? Because there is being there for quite long, but when you're operating in losses, we now want those skills that can help your business to really be able to withstand the competition and then be more profitable and expand. Businesses that don't expand means they earn less profits. Less profits limit business expansion. And once you have limited business expansion, you'll reach a point when your business is not taking off. So some of the skills that we have skills of coping with change, creativity skills. Let us start with skills of change. Change simply means giving over process of coming up with a completely different method of doing things. When we talk of change, is simply a process of coming up with a completely different method of doing things. Businesses need to embrace change. Like a saying has always gone that if you don't change, change will change you forcefully. In 2016, when the owner of Nokia company, I think, when the owner of Nokia company was selling or was being merged with Samsung company, a South Korean company, if I'm not mistaken, the owner cried when he was selling the company. Why? In 2012, there's this one boy who came up with a software called Android. This current Android we are using on phones came up with Android. By then, Nokia had started producing these. They were touch screens by then, not smartphones, touch screens. And then when the boy took the technology of Android so that they can start embracing smartphones, the owner of Nokia chased him away because he was making very many sales by then. He thought that things won't change. When he took his Android and it was embraced by Microsoft and then the Samsung company, etc., the Nokia phones could not have market anymore. People now shifted from the touch screens, from the button phones of Nokia, and then they embraced the buying of smartphones from the Samsung companies and etc. And that's how he collapsed, if I'm to say. So change is very important in a business. If you don't embrace change, then your business is going nowhere, because times keep on changing. The way the environment we were operating in 10 years ago is not the same environment we are in 2025. And that's why we're going to look at entrepreneurial environment, because the environment in which we operate in keeps on changing from time to time. So change can also be defined as a process through which something becomes different. Just as simple as that. And there are different forms of change that can be embraced by a business. We have that they call the developmental change, the transitional change, and then the transformational change. When we talk of the developmental change, it simply means the change that involves making improvement to a business. You just make slight improvement to some of the things in your business. That's called developmental change. Then there's what they call transitional change. Maybe let me give an example of development change. When they introduced this new curriculum, they had to invite some teachers for training. In fact, all teachers for training on how to handle the students. Meaning, in such a circumstance, they had gone for what they call developmental change, just to improve on skills of how to do it. But there was no major change, developmental change. Then another type of change is what we call transitional change. And we are saying transitional change is the change that involves replacing of the existing processes with what is totally new. When we talk of transitioning, to transition, it means to move from the old one to the new one. And transitional change, many people hate it in businesses because it affects, it even involves laying off some workers when you embrace transitional change. This was carried out at Coca-Cola Company, specifically the Renzori, when they were embracing use of technology. See, when you move to Renzori Company, there where they make the Renzori water, you realize that they have automated their processes. They use machines, highly advanced technology, and they use less of this human labor. They use less. So initially, people who were working there had to be laid off. Why? The company had brought machines which would do work more faster and cost effectively. So that kind of change, we would term it as a transitional change that involves replacing old methods with new ones. And then another kind of change that can be embraced by an organization is what we call transformational change. In transformational change, we say it's a form of change that involves the radical introduction of new methods or procedures in an enterprise. Transformational change is a combination of developmental change and then transitional change. When you talk of transformational, very many things take place, within the organization. It even involves change of business. We have seen some businesses that initially they were in a certain line, and currently they're also in a certain line. During COVID-19, there are some private schools that closed and had to go into poultry farming, and up to today, they have never gone back to issues of education. They are now using the structures to run poultry farms. They completely went to transformational change. So those are some of the types of change that an organization can go through. But most importantly, we wanted to know the definition of change, and then what's the importance of change in an enterprise. In all the curriculum, we would go ahead and look at very many things, factors that bring about change, why employees may resist change, etc., etc. But now, for your case, we only look at the definition and then the importance of change or embracing change in an enterprise. And then that also takes us to another kind of skills, which we call creativity skills. You need skills of being creative. If you're not creative, you want it or not, your business will not sustain itself for long. Businesses are coming up with new products, and if you don't come up with something new, then you are likely to be left out. Can someone give me a definition of what creativity is all about? Because you must have looked at creativity in all level for those who offered the subject. What is creativity? Any volunteer? Okay. Okay. Isabella is Trevor. Trevor. Trevor, you're not unmuting. Night.
Yes. Creativity.
Yes.
Creativity is the ability to generate new, original, and valuable ideas. It also involves thinking in ways that are different from the normal perspective, combining information in unique ways, or finding innovative solutions to problems. Thank you.
Teacher Richard. Teacher Richard. No, Teacher Richard. Hello. Teacher Richard, are you able to hear me? Teacher Richard. Okay, yes. So Teacher Richard, I'm saying, you check on your screen up there on those three dots, on the three dots, and then you first go to annotation. You go to annotation, and then we first clean the screen. Annotation, then down, when that icon comes, there is a basket for delete all, such that we can first clean the screen.
Good evening, Teacher Stephen. Good evening, it's just David. Excuse me, sure. Excuse me, sure. The lesson is still going to go on. Okay. Excuse me, teacher. Yeah. Isabella.
Yes.
What which teachers are teaching us right now? Is it a table teacher?
I don't know his name. I only see teacher and he's a host. I don't know about the name.
Apparently,
But
someone made me co-host,
I think
and
something has been
and his
to work.
and his microphone is actually open, so and you're not saying anything.
Well, I think he's fine, but just maybe the network or is doing something that we don't know. Let's just wait.
You know there is communication, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's be teaching ourselves until he appears.
Okay. But what do you stop on? Entrepreneurship. What?
We're talking about creativity skills. And then was explaining about a business without having creativity and all that jazz.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay, can anyone unmute and tell us what they think about that? What Isabella just said? Because like you can't just waste time like this.
Exactly.
Someone just raise up your hand and I'll ask you to unmute, and then you.
So actually, by the time that she went off, we are explaining the creativity skills. And he was inquiring that someone can define what creativity is.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any? Can anyone supplement on that? Isabella, can you supplement on that?
Okay. So, the definition of creativity, I think we all know it, but may I have mine? Creativity is the ability to come up with innovative solutions to problems and to market them. Or you can say it's just the ability to come up with new and unique ideas to problems. Then we can go ahead and also talk about the characteristics or attributes to creative entrepreneurs. I don't know.
Okay.
It's I was suggesting that go through all these skills, explaining each and each. Then I think we can stop like on personal branding.
Like we just define and then talk about small things, and then we end the meeting.
Yes, maybe we should do so as we are waiting for a teacher to come.
Okay.
Okay, can anyone else supplement on that?
For my definition for creativity, I say that this is the ability to generate original ideas, think outside the box, and develop unique solutions for different problems within our business.
Okay.
Okay.
My definition for creativity is the ability to bring something new into existence that can be turned into an appropriate or unique option of being successful.
So maybe that is finished. Sorry, maybe let us go to lecture to innovative skills. Guys, should we or we wait for a teacher to come? Because maybe I was suggesting that we can define all these skills, and by the time teacher comes, then we can have something to present.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we are getting you.
I've changed the gadget. I don't know why the one I'm using, you're not able to hear me, but I've been following whatever you're doing. I really can't tell with the other gadget.
Okay.
Now make me a host again. because I made you a co-host.
Hello, Joe.
Aku Sarah. Aku Elijah. Because I look like Beauty. Pretty.
Let me be using two of them.
Just
Yes, teacher, we are ready.
Okay. I was still talking about the coping with change, creativity, skills, innovation. Really, I have not known the technical issue that happened with this gadget of mine, but I'll establish later. So we were now looking at the different skills that an entrepreneur needs to sustain his business. We have looked at the innovation, the entrepreneurial motivation, communication skills, etc. I needed it to, let me share this document with you. Let us go through these questions. I don't know whether you're able to see them very well. I want us to discuss some of these questions. Any volunteer to go through item 1? And then we discuss on what was required on item 1 by show of hand. I don't know. Who is already here? Isabella, go through that.
Like I read the question.
Yeah, go through item 1, then you read the task, and then we discuss together what was required.
Okay. John and Peter are childhood friends who took different career paths. John started his own business selling fresh juice, while Peter got a job at a supermarket as a cashier. One day, they meet and talk about their work. John shares how he enjoys being his own boss, but sometimes struggles to find customers. Peter says he likes the security of a salary, but wishes to to be had more freedom in his business. Task: imagine you are a career counselor advising young people about different ways to earn a living. Write a message explaining why people enjoy running their own businesses while others prefer working for a company. Give examples to support your points.
Okay. Now, what was required on that question? Different members can come up and give ideas on what was required, because we have all seen that John and Peter, who are childhood friends, who took different career paths, and then we see that John started his own business, and then Peter is a cashier in a supermarket. They meet one day, they talk about their work. John says he's enjoying his own, being his own boss, and then and Peter is saying he likes the security of a salary, but wishes he had more freedom in his job. And the task is saying, imagine you are a career counselor, advising younger people about different ways to earn a living. Write a message explaining why some people enjoy running their own businesses while others prefer working for a company. And I'm saying, give the examples to support your points. What was needed there? Yes, by show of hand, and then we share. Okay, Benjamin. Then I'll come to Ismail.
So I think what was required is the advantages of employment and those of self-employment.
Benjamin, your network is okay.
They are requiring us to give the advantages of self-employment.
Okay. Yes, the advantages of self-employment. And then what else? Okay. Benjamin, thank you. Let me hear from Techno KL5. Ismail. Carrying up the hands, they're not talking. I think I should change settings and mute. So Benjamin is talking. Okay. Tara, go ahead.
Supposed to talk about the advantages of self-employment, and then the disadvantages of self-employment, and the advantages of paid employment, and the disadvantages of paid employment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Generally, when we go back to the item, always before you analyze the task, first go to the scenario and understand it very well. Because in the scenario, they say John and Peter are childhood friends who took different career paths. John started his own business selling fresh juice, while Peter got a job at a supermarket as a cashier. One day they meet and talk about their work. John shares how he enjoys being his own boss, but sometimes struggles to find customers. Peter says he likes the security of the salary, but wishes he had more freedom in his job. And then they are saying, imagine you're a career counselor advising younger people about different ways to earn a living. The keyword here about different ways to earn a living. I think let me first mute. There are people who are shouting in our okay. Try to unmute your mic, to mute your microphones so that you don't have a shouting class. I'm trying to make some settings here. Muted. I'm trying to make some settings to mute those people who are shouting. Please, you put your microphones off so that you allow our class to continue. Okay. So literally, they said write a message explaining why some people enjoy running their own businesses while others prefer working for a company, and give examples to support your points. Literally, I wanted the benefits of self-employment. First and foremost, you would identify the two types of employment. You identify for me self-employment. You tell me John is in self-employment and you define it. Then you come to Peter, you identify that Peter is in paid employment, and then you define paid employment. And then you come and give the advantages or benefits of being in paid, rather in self-employment. And afterwards, you give the benefits of being in paid employment, because these two are doing different kinds of careers. So I never wanted the disadvantages anyway, and give examples to support your points. The examples I'm talking of is simply the explanation is you elaborate. If you give your points very well and explain very well, then you would have supported your points with the examples. So that's what the scenario needed, and it would take on around 20 marks. Then I come to item 2. I want another volunteer to read through this item. Who can go through that? Okay. Please, any volunteer can read. Tara? Okay. I think many people are carrying up their hands, but they are not talking. Ismail is not talking, but the hand is up. Tara, can you go ahead? Isabella, go ahead. Yes. Okay, Benjamin, read. Okay. Let me unmute them. Let me see. In the chat room, I see. Okay. Tara, unmute yourself. I'm not unmuting. If your microphone is open, please go ahead and talk. Someone saying I want to read, but I can't unmute. But I've given the option of unmuting. I've changed the settings, and you can go ahead and talk. Okay. You first carry up the hand. Someone is saying it has refused. Carry up the hand, then I choose you. Tools. It is now allowing. Now, okay, it's now allowing.
As a small family baker.
Okay.
Fresh Bites Bakery started as a small family business in a quiet town. The owner, Sarah, had a passion for baking and introduced unique cake flavors that attracted many customers. As demand grew, she expanded the business, had more employees, and opened a second branch in a nearby town. However, Fresh Bites soon faced challenges. A new bakery opened nearby, offering similar products at lower prices. At the same time, ingredient costs increased, making it harder to maintain profits. Customers also started preferring online orders, but Fresh Bites had no online presence. Sarah started to make tough decisions. She thought about changing her approach, introducing online sales and offering discounts, but she was unsure if these changes would work. She also needed her employees to adapt to new ways of working.
Okay. You read the task?
As a business expert, advise Sarah on the likely benefits of adapting creativity and change in running a business.
Thank you so much. I want a volunteer to give me the approach of that question. Or else you yourself talking. If you have a clue about it, please go ahead. What was required in this case? Because the task has been clear and is so direct that I advise Sarah on the benefits. Any volunteer? SVG, I see you want to talk. Techno. Okay, Anthony, please go ahead. I see Anthony's hand is up. Okay. So simply the question needed, okay, those who are shouting in the class, you make sure you unmute. Rather you mute. Wayne is telling us advantages of creativity in business in the chat room. If you can't talk, please type in the chat room. I'll be able to see. Okay. Yes, the question needed you to define creativity, and then you define change, business, and then you go ahead and give the benefits of creativity in a business. After, you'd also give the benefits of change in the business. And it also carried around 20 scores. So creativity would take around, take 2 scores, the definition, and then change would also take 2 scores, and then the benefits 8. For change also takes 8, forming the 20. Let me hope you're able to take screenshots of some of these questions, and you'll be able, at your free time, to go through and internalize. Item 3, any argument here? Read item 3. Techno, read for us item 3.
Item 3. David owns a small fish shop called
Start organizing
He
your
started.
Okay, now go ahead and who is that one talking in the class?
David owns a small coffee shop called with few customers, but over time, yes, people go bigger.
Sorry, Techno, we can't
Well-known.
I can't get you well. We can't get you well. Let
Should
us
I
try
repeat?
on. I don't know whether your
David,
network is good.
I'm
Who has
reading.
good network? Oh, okay, go ahead. You.
David owns a small coffee shop called Brew Bliss. He started with few customers, but over time, he noticed that people prefer to go bigger. Small coffee brands, David wants more people to recognize his coffee shop and trust his product. Thus, David is looking for ways to make his coffee shop stand out and be memorable to customers. What are the likely benefits he will enjoy? Also, what steps should he take to make sure people see him and his business the right way?
Okay. Can you give us the approach yourself? What do you think that question requires? Yes. Any person with an approach to that? Ismail? I think your network is up and down. And like Anthony already said, David owns a small coffee shop called Brew Bliss. He started with a few customers, but over time he noticed that the people preferred to go bigger, well-known coffee brands. Meaning he was already running it, but again, customers were looking for those who are well-established. And we are saying David wants more people to recognize his coffee shop and trust his products. So the question is all about personal branding. Remember,
Yes.
branding said is the giving of a name to a product to distinguish it from other similar products. And a personal brand, we said, is the creating of a name around one's own career. You create a business name around your own career or your own name. It's a reason some businesses do sell more than others. It's always important that when you are choosing the kind of name to get to your business, look for the one which is appealing to the people within that particular area. You mute your microphone, please. Don't shout. Mute your microphone. Okay. So literally here, I wanted the task said David is looking for ways to make his coffee shop stand out and be memorable with customers. What are the likely benefits he will enjoy? And I wanted you to give the importance of personal branding, and then the steps or the guidelines one should take in order to make sure people see him or his business the right way. Those are guidelines, those steps followed when developing a personal brand, and there are strictly 4. You identify who you are, you position yourself, managing the brand. It is there are only 4. So you would give those 4, explain them, which would become 8 scores. Then the balance of the 12, they would come from the 2 would go in for a definition of personal branding, and then the 10 would go in for the benefits of a personal brand. Hope you have covered personal branding in your respective schools. Let us proceed to item 4. You have not yet covered personal branding?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. First,
Then we need it. We needed to have who covered personal branding so that you briefly go through for others. I give you some 3-4 minutes to go through for others. Isabella, have you covered so that who?
Yes. Yes, we covered.
Mention. Okay. Can you go through for others? Just
Yeah, I
briefly
can.
what please go ahead.
Okay. So, personal branding, this is a process by which an individual distinguishes himself or herself and stands out of the crowd by demonstrating unique attributes or propositions. So, we went ahead and talked about the steps of developing a personal brand. And the first step was, one teacher said, determining who you are, whereby you appreciate your strength and weakness, then discover yourself. Then there is also determining what you do, whereby you must choose what you want in the area of interest, like of passion. What are you passionate about? Something like that. Then positioning yourself, whereby you demonstrate things that make you stand out, like stand out of any other person, more so in business. And then managing your brand, whereby a good brand should last for a long period of time. Yeah. Then we also talked about the principles or laws of personal branding, whereby we say there's specialization, leadership, personality, visibility, and then also goodwill and persistence. And then the importance of developing a good personal brand. We talked about a few, we didn't complete. One is enables entrepreneurs to create trust in the public, whether good or bad. Then it also enables entrepreneurs to raise their brand high, where customers pay any price on the brand due to the trust. Then it adds value to the service. It increases authority and credibility of decision making in that particular field one belongs to. And then it attracts the right people. Yes, that's what we talked about. We didn't finish that. Important. Thank you.
What's happening again?
Sorry. I think it was the network issue. Sorry. Thank you so much for the explanation you have given. Now let us go through item 4. It's so unfortunate that some of you have not yet covered personal branding, but I'm certain as you go back to your respective schools, you'll be through item 4. Isabella, please do the needful if you are able.
Okay. Aisha has always wanted to start a small business in Uganda. She notices that many people in her town struggle to find fresh vegetables at affordable prices. She decides to open a small vegetable shop. Before she starts, Aisha thinks about different things that may affect her business. She wonders if the town has enough customers who will buy from her. She also needs to know if she can get fresh vegetables from farmers at a good price. Aisha is also worried about things like high taxes, the cost of renting a shop, and how easy it is to get a loan from a bank. Aisha knows that some businesses succeed while others fail. She wants to understand what makes a business environment and what economic factors are likely to influence her decision. Task: help Aisha understand the questions she has raised. This question is tricky. What is it?
Please, Isabella, go ahead and interpret it. What is it all about? Help Aisha understand the question is.
She notices that some people in her town struggle to find vegetables at affordable prices. She decides to open a small vegetable shop. About the things.
Those are the scenario questions that you are supposed to do, and I hope in the end of term, in your schools, you must have faced that.
Well, I think it wants us to talk about the.
So what is most important here? I'm seeing the last statement is saying she wants to understand what makes a business.
Not talking about characteristics of a successful business.
Recording in progress.
Can you please go ahead and do the interpretation? Screen went off. The screen went off.
Well, teacher, I think they want us to talk about the characteristics of a successful business or entrepreneur, something of that sort.
Characteristics of
a successful entrepreneur.
No, the question, okay, thank you for that trial, but the question was talking about entrepreneurial environment, because they talked of the business environment, they talked of the economic factors. Hope you have covered the topic of entrepreneurial environment. Have you?
No.
Oh, then that's where the challenge is, and that was our topic two of term one, and I think that's where you're finding issues. So immediately after personal branding, the next topic was supposed to be entrepreneurial environment. And the question simply wanted you to give the characteristics of the entrepreneurial environment and also go ahead and give the economic factors that influence the entrepreneurial environment. Can you briefly go, I think I should select a sample of some 4 people here. You tell me some of the topics that you have covered in your school, the things you have covered in your schools. I'm starting with Isabella, who is on the microphone. Then I come to Rohindi. I come to Tekno. There is Winnie.
Okay.
Yes. Tell me some of the things you have covered in your term one.
Now at school, we talked about we started with the introduction to entrepreneurship education. Then
yes,
that's where we find all those things, skills and all that. But then us, we like kind of jumped and then went to cash flow statement.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where we are right now at the school. And we finished cash flow.
So you handled the cash flow statement and then you on the introduction to entrepreneurship. Okay.
Yes.
Any other here? Thank you. Let me talk to Tekno.
Okay, for us.
Yes.
Yeah, for us, we covered that part of introduction to entrepreneurship education.
Tell me the things you covered in that introduction.
Introduction, we covered the creativity part, we covered the economic development, the roles of entrepreneurship, all that part, we covered it.
Okay.
So we also went to, now we also again jumped to ratios, and from ratios we started also the cash flow statement and the financial statement.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I come to Winnie. Shaun, something. Okay, our microphone is on, but I think is not active. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see if there's another volunteer here who wants to tell us about what they have covered. I see Melissa. Tell us what you have covered in your school.
We have 3 teachers that have covered introduction to entrepreneurship education and some bits of entrepreneurial environment. She just talked on the heading. Then the second teacher covered cash flow statement, and then the other one is covering. Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one, the one for paper 3, covering project work.
Covering what?
project work, like paper 3 content, case study, and then project.
Which class are you?
Senior 4.
Because senior 5, we don't have the project. It's okay. We don't have paper 3s, paper 2, and what? It's not yet out, but the right time they will communicate. Let me go to Alupo. Tricia, tell us what you have covered, where you have stopped.
They were better saying. You're telling me.
Yes, go ahead. Tricia, go ahead. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Our network today has not been so good. It was drizzling, and I think it disorganized the network a bit. But we hope you have learned something. In the next lesson, we shall now go direct and look at a topic that we are supposed to handle in second term of senior 5, and that will be Thursday next week, in case the timetable does not change. So you will share with your friends so that they are aware and they join in comes Thursday next week, so that we push on together as we plan to go back for second term in our respective schools. I want a volunteer to give us a closing prayer, and then we end here our session. Isabella, your hand is up.
Teacher, before that.
Teacher, before that, I have a question.
Mohammed first. Mohammed, go ahead.
Mr.
Okay,
Mr.
Mohammed, you are not talking. Yes. Okay. Okay, Sabila, go ahead.
Teacher, me, I want to those questions, those items that you had sent for us. I was requesting that you send them to us in that group, because some of us weren't taking the screenshots, like as you have said.
Oh, I'm going to send to Mr. Kaziba, then he will forward in your group, because I'm not included in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will forward all this content there, and you'll be able to access it. Thank you. And you give us, unless if there are some questions, I want you to pray for us, and then we end the session.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
Unless if there's an individual with a question or anything to comment.
Okay, for me, I have like a request.
Yes.
Okay, I'm guessing that like if you have more scenarios, even those ones of accounting, those things, if you have them, you can also share them, because we need to practice earlier before we report back.
When are you reporting?
For us, we are reporting on 26.
Okay. Next week I will share most of those scenarios.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please. Okay. Thank you for attending all of you. Let us have a closing prayer. Please go ahead and pray.
I should pray.
Okay, you pray. You pray.
Let's humble ourselves of God. Almighty Heavenly King of Father, we adore you, we glorify you. We thank you so much for this wonderful day. We thank you that you've brought us this far, and more so that this holiday we have been able to pass through it. Lord Father, as we are going to do other activities, we pray and ask for your mercy and guidance. And also for the little we have learned, we pray that you enable us not to forget, Give us retentive memories when we are being examined. And we pray for everyone who is going back to school anytime from now. We pray that you enable our parents get the money so that we head back to school. We make this prayer believing and trusting in the Lord our God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that prayer. I now request Favor K. I made you a host, therefore you end this session before I leave. Favor K, if you are hearing, please end the session. You are the host. And no one else can end it. Favor K, if you are hearing, you end this session so that it does not continue recording